Hey yo, divine earthlings of the universe. What is up? What is up? What is up? I do hope that you all are having a good day, a good night, whatever time it is for you. Peace, love, light, blessings. Namaste. Today is Sunday, August the 17th of 2025. So grand day, grand rising. Thank you for always supporting and just vibing the message. You can always thumbs it up if it resonates. However, if it doesn't resonate, don't force the Cinderella slipper to fit. Do not eat the food on the plate if you don't like it. I may not be the reader for you. This may not be the message for you. So I get it. Find the reader best for you. Also, I am not a psychic. I am just a messenger here to provide the purest love and light vibes from the Most High Creator. My spiritual team guides God, Gaia, the universe, the Most High Source, and the purest love energy possible. And therefore, this is in no way, shape, or form to impose my feelings, thoughts, beliefs into your life. And we remove any dark entities, dark energies, evil eye vibes, evil eye vibers, and negativity from this space. Keep it divinely protected in the purest love and light of the Most High Creator and our ancestors and archangels. This is a non-judgment zone. We do not judge. It is a spiritual zone, a healing zone, an uplifting zone, a Zen zone for those who may need it. But we never judge. Okay, we just going with the flow of the energy, and that's what it is. Your discernment, free will are going to always be a key factor, okay, in your intuition. So, as we start, there were just some channel messages from my last videos, couple of videos or so that I've done that stood out to me. One of them that I keep kind of hearing and channeling back is we are in a different type of war. Okay, this is a spiritual versus physical. You know, you feel like you feel the spiritual versus the physical war, but now you're adding in versus digital. So you have the spiritual, physical, and the digital kind of war together. And it's a different type of war because it's kind of like against humanity. I heard the card game. I wrote down it's a different, because I wanted to channel it again. So I wrote it's a different / new type of war. And I heard the game cards against humanity. Then I heard war against humans. So for those of you who have played Cards Against Humanity, it's basically like a game. You have to decide on, okay, this person might, by this person's personality, I think they might say this. So let's say it's 6 of you playing. One of the people, like 5 of you have to guess what the 6th person might say. And if you win that, then you win that round. So how many ever rounds you win, the most person who wins the most rounds is the winner. But the questions are very hold up. You know, they're a little deep. You got to be, I think, 21 or older to play that game. But it's one of those games to make your mind think. And then sometimes they might pick something like, oh, I thought you would have said this. But again, so it's kind of like selective programming from what I'm hearing. So there is a different type of war going on. This is not like the Revolution, Civil War back in the day where you studied in the history books. It is, though, at the same time. But I mean, like, the battlefield looks different, basically, is what I'm saying. The battlefield is different. The battlefield is where you live, your everyday life. That's a part of the war zone. So the war zone is like everywhere. Everywhere is like a battlefield. And that is why this is a different type of war. That is why no matter if you live here, live there, shit, you can live everywhere. And you're still on the war. You're still on the battlefield, boo-boo. Because this is like a war against humans. A war, I'm hearing a menace to society. You're like that menace to society in order to win this war, okay, with your spiritual intelligence. And in the midst of that, you have a lot of divinely ordered. You have divine order, but you have also divinely accomplished Yeah, Spirit said you literally ranked up here. You did. You've been ranking up, you've been graduating, and now you're like the sergeant on the field. You're like the general sergeant. Excuse me, spiritual burp. Excuse me. But you're like the person that is actually leading. You're guiding, I would say. Like, you're a guide. You're the spiritual guide on the war zone. You're the one that puts kind of like, not that you're putting orders out to be in charge, but you're putting out the orders set forth by the Most High. And the physical part, and so basically you're putting out the spiritual orders of this war set by Most High. That's why you're a guide, to help lead people to safety, to higher ground, to higher frequency, you know what I mean, to protection, to healing, to teaching, to birthing more positivity and peace on earth. Okay, you're like that. You're the spiritual part. And then there's the physical part that wants to actually lead and control humans and how AI generates and does this and blah, blah, blah. You know, you got people already in order, putting other things in order above the people of the world because they feel like it's going to bring order. But in all honesty, if we look around, if we feel things, everything feels disorganized. Everything feels displaced. Like, I'm hearing it. It's like a disgrace. This world is like in a place of disgrace. How people are being treated, how leaders are leading nations and countries and humanity. It's like they're doing it and they're a disgrace to our face or throwing dirt in your face. That's how they're winning the war. They want to keep that money, power, respect, you know, politic energy going. And so to verse that with the spiritual side of leadership, it's like, how can I say this? This is like, because I'm remembering, because I grew up in a church home, okay, as Baptist, and said God, but I do remember being in church and them saying World War III. Like, if you hear talk of World War III, that's like end times. So that always stood out to me. I'm like, oh, end times, okay, Book of Revelations, and that stood out as a child. And now that we're here, now that I'm in this age and can think back on certain things and how God will get his disciples, and you have prophets that are going to show up and help humanity in the midst of the rapture. It's like the rapture is like wrapping things up. So therefore, we're going to wrap up this chapter here on earth with this war to wrap up this particular chapter of earth. Now, is earth ending? Is the world going to blow up and none of us are here? Who knows? Okay, who knows? I mean, the way things are, it is a uncertain time. Okay, uncertain time. That's why it don't matter if you live on whatever continent you live on. North, south, east, west, South Africa, South Asia, South America, North America, Alaska. It don't matter. Europe somewhere. It's felt on a global point here. Then you want to merge in this digital war here that's fighting against humanity as well. You know, everything that you entrust in a leadership role to help run a country or to help bring nations together. You trust in that. You believe in it because you want everybody to just live their life. But when it starts to turn on you, that's when your human instincts kick in, or they should kick in, to recognize all these red flags. Okay, well, if leadership is supposed to help serve and protect humanity, why doesn't it feel that way? And then you have those who question the why doesn't it feel like we're safe here on our land or in our homes. And when I even say in our land, just meaning like your homeland. But this is still not technically our land. It's Mother Earth. Land is very scarce. So to bribe, to put a price on it, is showing and proving like, well, we have all this land. So you only have this little island, but our land is where you want to be because it's bigger than that small island you got. But that small island might be the best place to live on Earth. But people are wanting more and more and more in order to inherit more, to keep them on the map, to keep people lending on them, needing them. So humans have been, I'm hearing the needy. It's like humans have been needy people. I'm hearing needy people. Yeah. Needy, greedy. I'm hearing needy, greedy, and gritty. The nitty gritty too. See, the nitty. But I am hearing like knitting it together. It's a lot of people that have knit together out of greed. All these continents and countries can knit together for a purpose of greed and control. So when a spiritual person like yourself and your human intelligence kick in and wake up to, hey, we've been living in the matrix. Hey, something ain't right. Hey, you start thinking about your everyday life and just life in general. So it's a different type of war, because now the digital aspect of it is also fooling people, tricking people like they're human, or even making fun of particular cultures or a group of people, or just humans, period. AI is kind of like being invented to be better than humans. Okay? That's what that Social Dilemma on Netflix, I mentioned that in one of my other videos, but if you haven't seen it, look up Social Dilemma. It's on Netflix. And it's about the CEOs of these apps, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snap, like all these other apps that they're talking about, and how technology has kind of overpowered even their ability to control it. As the CEO and the person who created these apps. So that came out in 2020. We're in 2025 technically. The zone here. We're in the matrix of 2025. So this is a different type of war. So you, Divine Collective, and I'm just really talking on this as a awareness, because it's a lot of things happening around us, but also if we think about times of war and recession, you also have people overcoming that, people who lived through it, people who had to probably see some worse days, but they got over those worst days and they survived. Times might be harder before they get better, but the human consciousness here, the human compassion here, people are all like feeling this. A lot of people are feeling the offness in this world because of uncertainty. A lot of places are divided. Mother Earth is just literally responding to the frequency of the division of Earth and the humans of, well, I would say of the division of the humans on the Earth and the frequency that's being put out. 1522 on a timer. Mother Earth is literally responding to the frequency of the Earth. Point blank and period. So this is why the natural disasters and y'all, even more flooding, like, knock on wood, you know, that everybody is safe where they are, that these floods cease, you know, because though the video that I posted from July 22nd, 2024, when I reposted it in my community board, I realized I had already reposted it because it was talking about a wave of tsunami to cleanse the earth. Like, the earth is going to be cleansed by waves of tsunamis. That's what I heard last year. So I reposted it and I was like, oh, I already reposted it. But that's a video I've been called to repost twice since then, or to share again, because the earth is literally being washed to cleanse humanity, cleanse the ego of mankind from greed, the greed and hatred that mankind possess or want to cover the world with. Greed, hate, violence. It's just like another time. So you are in the spiritual realm fighting the war, and then you have to come to the matrix to fight it as well. That's why your spiritual intelligence is like a key factor here of breaking the chain, breaking the codes. And I'm hearing the Divinity Code, okay? You here to break the Divinity codes. I'm hearing you're here to instill divine codes. Yeah. You're here to instill it in mankind. So, another thing, I had a video about a high priestess who was really being utilized for their spiritual qualities. In this time, you're going to see a lot of high priestess, a lot of high priest. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. Like a lot. This war is going to bring forth false prophets. We're ending in the end times to wrap this shit up. It's a wrap. This is the war. Like when I've been hearing we're all on divine time, which means God's timing, the Creator's time, the Most High's time. It's Most High's time to show and prove, to humanity, how to break free from a chain of a grip hold, how to stay empowered when you also are afraid of what the people in control may do or where they may lead us into. Because it's uncertainty. But that's why you have to walk by faith and not by sight. How tough is your faith? How strong do you believe in your own prayers? Do you truly feel your ancestors' presence? Are you out here doing the best you can do in order to be a good person to people, to yourself, to your family, to a stranger? Are you putting out hate as well? We are all here on this earth, on this planet, Even though those other planets in the galaxies, this is the one that we're aware of, like in a conscious kind of zone. This is the one that we're here exploring the frequency. Even though this moment, as you watch this, or if I step outside, excuse me, spiritual burp, excuse me, we're all on the same frequency right now. That's why everybody feels the frequency. Some people are still technically stuck in the matrix bubble, but something about that matrix bubble is about to just burst. 2044 on a timer. Somebody bubble's about to burst. So going back to these high priestess, high priest who exude high frequency. That's a part of the war. That's a war tactic I'm hearing. That's a part of the tactic. That's a part of a illusion. Because you have false prophets in this time. So who, again, to me, I'm going to say I honor and I am like I'll bestow all the love to their feet. The prophets of the pure white light, my ancestors, your ancestors, the Most High Creator, spiritual team on all aspects of my life, the prophets in my Akashic journey that have helped guide me to where I am, and guide my family, and just guide the people I love in the midst of hard times. You know, nothing is perfect, no one is perfect, but as a prophet, that's an honor. And I always say, I'm not a psychic, I'm just a messenger. I'm just a messenger from the Most High Creator. I don't really classify myself as anything other than that. I just don't. I feel like it's a big shoe to fill, you know what I mean? And I'm just honored to even connect with my spiritual team and have this relationship with them that they get me and I get them, and you develop that one-on-one with them. And it's a beautiful thing, because even as a child, they always say, I heard, for those of you, again, religion, take it as it resonates, but don't be offensive if I say that it's like, if I say God or anything like that, just please don't take offense to it. It's just, see the bigger picture of the message. But I used to hear people say, oh, I heard God talk to me. And I was like, I wonder how that sounds. I always wanted to know how that sounded. And I remember the first time I heard it, because I draw, and it was this point in my life where I wasn't drawing as much. And they were like, and I heard God say, because I drew Bob Marley, it's like, man, this is not looking like how I know it can look. And I heard God say, if you don't use your gift, I'm gonna take it away. I was like, oh. I kid you not, the next day, like, I enrolled in an art program at a university and I got serious. So it was really fashion design, but it really enhanced my art on a different level. I've been drawing since like second grade, really, but I say that because I heard the voice. I heard my calling. And I think I was 20, how old was I? Maybe 21, 23, something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, but that happened. So when you have a spiritual calling and you have your spiritual intelligence is like something that no one else can really match. We'll put it that way. Because you got people that are like, they could be in the same level as you or spiritual mission as you, whatever it is. However, your spiritual intelligence and their spiritual intelligence are two different things. They can never match. Just like DNA. it will never actually match. Might be a part of the same family, but you don't actually match. Even twins, they look just alike, but they're two different people. So you have the spiritual intelligence that people are trying to match or people are trying to figure out. So AI is kind of mimicking spiritual intelligence. And they're becoming more intelligent. And then they're mimicking humans. And then you have politricks mimicking or intimidating humans, or mimicking them too, actually. In whatever way they could be mimicking them behind the scenes. Because if you're really for the people, but y'all turning against each other in leadership, how can you really be for the people? If y'all turning against each other, like, how can you trust that? Again, that's when you have to walk by faith and not by sight. So you're bringing a lot of faithful sight out here. You're bringing some heaven on earth as this war, because since it's a different type of war, it's a different type of approach to this war against humanity or against humans or just in general. The end times, they always say some people will be left behind. And in this realm, I see the left behind as people stuck in the matrix, stuck in a bubble. Even if they're woke to their third eye or to what's really happening, maybe they may be stuck to really let go of the unknown of living in this matrix. Because the matrix, this is like a different... because you've elevated above the matrix. For those who I'm speaking to, and some of this might not resonate. So if it don't resonate, like I said, don't force that Cinderella slipper. Don't put that slipper on if you know you can't fit it. Okay, don't be walking around when it's scrunched up your toes. Don't do that to yourself. And do not eat the food on the plate. Don't eat it if it don't resonate or if you don't like it. But yeah, seriously though, don't do that. This message might not be for you, and it is for a collective here that I'm getting that is truly on a battlefield in this spiritual war. So all these tests and triumphs and energy harvesters and these fake prophets, because you're going to have fake prophets. Spirit said, go back to that. Okay. Because these fake prophets are profiting. De Niro, they profiting. Okay, in this time, because they know people are seeking higher frequency, a higher source, a higher purpose in this time. So the people, the world is on a low frequency. So to make someone have a higher frequency, let me be a prophet so they can come on and, come to me and seek my guidance, or let me lead them just so I can profit though. Because in this time, false prophets need profit to get by, to live as well. So if they can suction up and gather up how many souls they want, they can do it to use it to their advantage. Yeah, most definitely they're gonna profit off of people. Hey, I was a lost soul. I mean, sometimes my soul still be wandering. But at the beginning, I was a lost soul. And people was profiting off of my lost soul energy, like my low frequency. And I was seeking, sorry guys, there's noise in the background. But I was seeking healing. But at the end of the day, a lot of this, I didn't know how I needed to truly protect my essence, my aura from a lot of people. Y'all got family here. So, with that being said, I had to figure out like, okay, I need to start having more boundaries up. Even as a reader, I was just okay, I can help you. I can assist. Yeah, I could do this reading. But I was like, I didn't care about the price. I just wanted to help heal and help guide and help lead someone to their purpose, or to realize what they want to do with their life, to empower themselves, empower their family, like heal through a trauma. Like I was really trying to figure that out. And even with my pricings, like y'all, not even kidding you. Now that, man, I've learned a lot. Let's just put it that way. I would have like a time frame. I'm like, okay, but then we go over the time frame. I had to create some boundaries. But I did have a spiritual burnout. As a real high priest or high priestess, or as someone who is really trying to heal humanity without thinking about profiting off of humans or whoever is really coming to you and seeking real help or guidance or clarity, whatever they're needing, for you to not just make it about how much things will cost, is actually making you more wealthy, spiritually. Spiritual wealth. And it will show up in the physical, but it's making you more spiritual wealthy because you have a more spiritual connection with source that is, again, that no one can match. So with the false prophets, or these high priests that are going to continue to show up, they're going to show up. Some of them, yes, they may be tapped in, because we all have a spiritual side we could tap into. Others, though, are like false on purpose to trick humanity in this time. That's just their mission. They're kind of like being sent out. Think of the Wicked Witch on The Wizard of Oz, or Oz, the Wiz, excuse me, with Diana Ross, whichever one y'all prefer. Think of the Wicked Witch, and she sends her flying monkeys out. The flying monkeys are already sent out with demonic entities or energies attached, or just to attack. They're already a demonic entity to go attack a chosen person, or whoever this Wicked Witch said go attack. That's their mission. The flying monkey mission is just go to attack. That's it. So you got false prophets out here that's just going to attack because they were sent from a source of darkness, or negative vibe energy to keep people on low frequencies. So yes, this is a time that is, I'm hearing, of unjust unrest. However, the Most High is also reminding people of the Most High. I'm going to say that again. The Most High is also reminding people of the Most High. It's up to them to wake up. Or are you going to stay in the Matrix? And being in the Matrix is cool, but now it's a different vibe of the Matrix, because it's gotten twisted. Even with these false entities and even people, are, it's more hatred. But you got a lot of flying monkeys out here, though. I might call this video, because I heard it, what in the world is going on in the world? I had heard that in one of my messages last week. What in the world is going on in the world? Because what in the world is going on? You got flying monkeys, demonic entities roaming, false prophets, chaos, floods, hate, war. I heard on August 14th, 2025, I wrote order to the chaos. I just saw this, that I wrote it. Spirit is bringing order to the chaos. So this war is bringing order to the chaos. However, since everywhere we are is basically a war zone, there's going to be casualties of war everywhere. There just will. Innocent lives, unfortunately. Because the whole world is the battlefield. You know, people can say, leave this country now. Leave it now. All right. People could say that. People could leave. People could go wherever they want to go to feel safe, to feel where they feel is home, or just to go because they feel like they're unsure about this uncertainty and what's next. I get it. Okay, just be mindful that every continent, I'm hearing repercussions. There's something going on. All of humanity might not know, because again, it's the war against humanity. So all of humanity might not know what's going on. However, these leaders, excuse me, spiritual burp, yeah, they're all in cahoots. They all know what's going on. Even older leaders from back in the day, they know what's going on. People know what's going on. You got certain well-known people that know what's going on. I'm hearing Marvin Gaye. What's going on? That's crazy, because that song is identifying this world. Mother, mother, there's too many of you dying. Let me see if I could. And then even in that song, he says, war is not the answer. Y'all, war ain't the answer. War is not the answer. Ooh. It's going to be a big plot twist, I'm hearing. It's a big ass plot twist. Something about a plot twist with humanity. Okay. Before I end this reading, I really didn't get no cards, so, you know, but, trying to think if I should. Okay, Spirit, oh my gosh, Spirit is really saying, I'm hearing false prophets again. Damn, it's a lot of false prophets going on. And see, you're a high priest. I just had a video. You're a high priest. For those of you high priestess, that people wanted to utilize your spiritual gifts and your abilities so they can make, so they can make profit. And those could have been some false prophets that you were connected to. They knew that you were a real high priestess or high priest, or that you can enhance them to become on that level of being, like, awakening to keep rising above everyone. I'm hearing everyone. Like, some people here wants to be seen so everyone can know who they are, because they love power that much. It's like people love power that much to where you will control other people's lives and destroy it, because you want people to know you that much. Hey, this is on a bigger scale or a smaller scale. Worldly or community, or just home, work, whatever circle of people you got around you. Go on different ways, different spectrums here, because this is a global thing. It's a lot of flying monkeys out here. Be mindful of the flying monkeys. Be mindful of the flying monkeys. But not afraid. Just be mindful. Be like, oh, okay. All right. I see the flying monkey. Oh, okay. Because a lot of people out here. Hold on, y'all. My other deck is over here. All right, guys. My fault. Okay. Y'all, look at this. Ace of Swords. That's the truth. Yeah, this is the truth. This is the truth of what's been happening here. Of what's going on. And see, that's why you're that spiritual assassin. Here to bring the truth. You get what I mean? Thank you, Spirit. I love that this card showed up. You're the spiritual assassin to bring truth. Love it. We're going to shuffle that one in a minute, but you this spiritual assassin that's the truth. Damn, that's how you the ward. Look at this. Y'all, the war zone ain't ready for you. The spiritual assassin. Like, look, you can't even see your face. Guess what movie I just was trying to find something to watch, and I had some lunch. I was like, let me put on a movie. Then all of a sudden I saw John Wick. I'm like, ooh, let me actually start from the first movie. So I'm watching the first one. And in the midst of the movie, I get a message. I'm like, okay, Spirit, I'm about to go do a message. And then I was like, start watching the movie some more. Then all of a sudden Spirit was like, your message. I'm like, okay. So here we are. Because John Wick was an assassin, yo. They call him the boogeyman. But see, he went after the boogeyman. People hired him to go after the boogeyman. You get what I mean? The Most High has hired you to go after these boogeymans. Don't mess with John Wick. If you haven't seen John Wick, it's also Keanu Reeves, who is in The Matrix. Don't mess with him. So let's just think about John Wick being the character in The Matrix. Think about that. You have come back as John Wick in The Matrix. You're still Keanu Reeves. You're still Neo. Let me make this make sense for those who probably not following it. Because this card just came out. Queen of Wands. Okay, boo. We're gonna get back to you. So let me make this make sense. The movie The Matrix has Keanu Reeves in it. I think there are like 3 or 4 of them. I don't know. I didn't finish actually watching all the Matrix movies, but his name is Neo. He's the one who can defy all odds. He's spiritual. You know, he meets the Oracle. Like he has a spiritual journey, a spiritual mission. So he wakes up from the Matrix, and then he just sees the truth of the world and how everybody's just programmed to be a robot or just be conditioned to a 9-to-5, to like the Truman Show. Okay, so Keanu Reeves, that's his character. Then he also plays John Wick. Whole different movie, whole different franchise. So whole different movie. But in the Matrix, he wakes up and he's no longer connected to it. He sees past it. He sees through it. Okay? He sees he's very transparent. Like nothing can really fly by him. He even dodges bullets. Like, I love the scene at the end when he's dodging them bullets. And he's just like stopping everything, stopping every hit. And it's just like effortlessly. That's you. You woke up from this Matrix. Okay, I might not even get no more cards, Spirit said. I might not. Because these 2 cards are the truth. You woke up from the Matrix. So now when you come back, when you're ordered to bring order to the chaos and to help lead and heal, you come back cloaked as a spiritual assassin. And now, not to actually inflict harm on purpose, but to also like you don't do that on purpose. You're just here to instill discipline on purpose. And if somebody come at you, because these flying monkeys gonna try to come get you, like on John Wick, he had flying monkeys come to his house. I hate watching the first one, because within the first 20 minutes, it's already kind of sad, and you just see, though, not to mess with John Wick. Even the flying monkeys, they don't even know not to mess with you. They just ordered to go there. Some of them might know who you are, but a lot of them might not. They just ordered to either be near you, be around you as a flying monkey, to keep tabs on you, to see if you still got all this Akashic knowledge and spiritual insight. If you're still a truth speaker, they want to know. So you come back to the Matrix as John Wick, as a spiritual assassin. So although this is hell on earth vibes going on, you are also experiencing heaven on earth, because you speak truth. Because you are the truth. You are the light. But don't tempt me. I was like, you ever see Why Did I Get Married? Jill Scott character at the end, because her husband leaves her because of her weight, and he always puts her down. And all this time, her quote unquote best friend keeps trying to give her advice, but she's very she's the opposite. She's skinny. She looks, the long hair, very beautiful, blah, blah. And this whole time, she's actually sleeping with the husband. Like, what? So that broke Jill Scott. And at the end of the movie, Jill Scott, they end up getting a divorce because he tells her he don't want to be with her. He want to be with a friend. So she moves on, trying to move on and being depressed. But then she meets someone. And then guess what? She gets healthy for herself. She meets someone in the midst of healing. He helps her heal and put life back into herself. And at the end of the movie, they happen to be at the same event for a mutual friend. So she runs into her old best friend in the restroom. And the best friend's like, oh my God, I didn't even recognize that was you, because she lost weight, right? She's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, by the way, I just didn't know how I was going to approach you, what I was going to say. When the next time I saw you, this is Jill Scott, I didn't know if I was going to whoop that ass. And then she says, but amazingly, all I want to do is pray for you. She's like, but don't tempt me. Stay away from wine bottles, okay? Have a good evening. She said, don't tempt me. Jill Scott said, look, I done shedded the weight. I actually can stand here and actually forgive you after you betrayed me. But I'm going to humbly let it go. But don't tempt me. Stay away from the wine bottles. Have a good evening. Because the wine bottle, the scene of her husband confessing, they were all at the table, and when he confessed being with the best friend, because I forget Jill Scott's character name, Jill Scott picks up a wine bottle and smacks the husband. So that's why she told the best friend that, don't tempt me. But a lot of times people don't, you're such a smile person, like happy and positive. Like people wouldn't think you got this side of you that's a spiritual assassin, you know. And not that you out here just dicing people. No. No, it's nothing like that. It's more like your energy and your silence and your missions. Like, so for these false prophets out here, are people who wanted to utilize your energy or just utilize anything they could off of you or other people. Your mission is to teach them a lesson. You're a person out here, you're teaching a lot of people lessons. You're teaching people lessons that are in leadership, in worldly leadership, because it trickles up. I'm hearing, instead of, it doesn't trickle down. When I'm hearing a trickle down effect, because you're trickling things up instead of trickling down. Okay, thank you, Spirit. You're rising up as they trickle down. As you keep rising up and healing and uplifting, everything is like the veil is really falling. So the more people you can do that, that's why, that's the army, the spiritual army. Again, it's a different type of war. It's a different type of army. You might not be wearing no combat boots in the Air Force and military. You might not be enlisted in the service, the government service units. You might not be actually good with shooting guns, or, you know, I mean, I don't want to say nothing like that, but you get what I mean. Like, you might not be someone who's been trained like John Wick. That's the best way I can put it. Because I want to be very selective with my words. I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want to make it seem like, you know, anything of that caliber. But basically, you weren't trained like John Wick. Your training, you have a spiritual eye. Again, you're like Neo in the Matrix. You've been trained to dodge the bullets. You've been trained to dodge bullets. They're like, how can you dodge a bullet? Because you're a spiritual assassin. Look at this. Look at it. Like, these people don't even know who you are. I always see this as like Michael Jackson, smooth criminal. Like, you like a smooth criminal out here. You've been struck by a smooth criminal. Yeah, these people you a smooth criminal. You done struck people. And it was like, damn, that was smooth, Divine Collective. And how you struck people was in their heart. Because you made their heart feel something. Thank you, Spirit. That's how you strike. You strike people's hearts to feel, to recalibrate, to remember. You bring truth and order. That's how you trigger people. Thank you, Spirit. I was like, what? Because you're not actually like out here pulling triggers, no. But you trigger people's heartstrings. Boom. You triggering the world's frequency on this battlefield. It's global. So no matter what continent that we decide to live on, it's going to be felt. Some worse than others. Others worse than some. Some might not ever. However, and whoever, wherever we at, it's going to be felt. Because you're going to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, or just your community. So you're a truth speaker out here as a spiritual assassin. I want to get a declare decree. Message All spiritual warfare raged against myself and my loved ones is now destroyed in spirit and in flesh. See? All spiritual warfare. Trying to tell you, you're destroying spiritual warfare that's been raised against yourself, your family, and humanity. In spirit and in flesh. And those are basically Shavi Zane. These are her cards. She's really dope. She always says you can screenshot, write it down, then burn it. Okay. Okay, so here was another message. This card keep coming out. All fears known and unknown are now clear from my energy and spirit and in flesh. Again, walking by faith, not by sight. I know we live in a time where people probably might fear. Some people fear for the first time in a long time because of the way of the world right now. That's understandable. All right, Spirit, what else we got for this message? Bottom of the deck, all blockages, eternal and external, that prevent me from experiencing a healthy love life are destroyed in spirit and in flesh. Yep. So, even your love life has been affected because people try to battle, like keep your love life in a war zone vibe. That could have been something to keep you from rising up as well. Maybe a particular connection kept you in a place where it was like a spiritual warfare, basically. People wanted you to be in like a war zone with the love of your life or people in your life and keep fighting that personal aspect. And if you never broke free of like healing that or breaking free from fighting that, because maybe it could have been an inner battle, or you just put it down, like you released it, you let go, you gave it to divine. It was like, boom, let go, let God. And you walked away, you released it. But that was like an uncertainty though. You know, and because it could have destroyed you in a way. Something here, this energy just kind of went. Because the card that actually came out too is all unhealthy relationships, friendships, and associations are cleared from my energy and spirit and in flesh. Yeah, you had to, this was an unhealthy connection here. But they never thought that you would be the truth speaker. Again, you wake up people's heart, you trigger their heart. Yeah, so since you trigger their heart, you trigger the hearts of these people that were unhealthy to you. And they do feel like you this low-key spiritual assassin. Everybody's feeling that you in a spiritual assassin. Even like, because you trigger in a heart, you literally are triggering their heart chakra. Like you got this Queen of Wands energy. You're very passionate. You're very fiery. You're very, like you're fueling. I don't know. You got like this fire energy. You fueling the war here. Like your energy is bringing some kind of war to end. Okay. I don't know. And then these people fighting with themselves. I'm gonna end it though, because I don't like going over 1 hour, because y'all, I do appreciate you sitting here for this long. If you did, thank you. If it resonates, you can thumbs it up. I'm gonna come back with another video, probably not tonight, but I will come back. But I do appreciate each and every one of you. If it didn't resonate, don't force it. Okay, thank you so much. Peace, love, and light to you, and namaste.